center stage, we can start over here. Good morning and welcome to the final day of the New England Food Show. We are here for our first educational session of the day, and let me tell you, being an education person, I think this is the best one so far. Today we're going to be talking about, I'll talk to you later. Building a culture of learning, development, advancement, and retention. And today we have such a fantastic panel. I myself, Jennifer Almeida, Director of Education for the MRA, am moderating today's panel. And today we have with me a great panel of wonderful women here. We have Christina Kelly, who is the Chief Operations Officer for Train, and I don't know why I seem to have forgotten 321, but Train 321. I made this slideshow at like 10 o'clock at night. That's probably why I forgot 321. So Christina is the COO of Train 321, who is one of our fantastic educational partners. There she is. Oh, she's great. Look at that suit. That is awesome. We have Pat Hutchinson, who is a professor and our partner for our apprenticeship program over at Quinsigamond Community College. Do you want to stand up and take a bow? No? Okay. And Samantha Clarke, who is one of our ProStart Culinary Arts instructors over at Old Colony Regional Vocational High School. And they are currently our reigning ProStart state champions. They're her school, so both our teams for nationals this year are from Old Colony Regional, so we're really excited. I'm also a little biased. They're the closest school to my house, so that makes my life really easy for the year. All right, so let's dive right in. I'm going to ask each of these ladies to give a little bit more of an introduction about themselves, what they do, what their program is about, what their company is about. Maybe share a video if I can find it. It's going to be here somewhere, about what they do. So let's just go right down the line. So Pat, you want to share a little bit about Quinsigamond and what we work with?
Sure. So I came from industry, and I was a human resource director for a number of years. I also was a bartender and all those things that you do to work your way up to the executive committee level. And for the past 20 years, I've been teaching at a community college. My connection with the Restaurant Association is an apprenticeship program that the MRA is sponsoring to help restaurants really retain and train on the job in a more professional manner, and hopefully keep those good employees going and moving along in their career path. So we're real pleased to be a partner in that, and that's my story.
Christina.
Hi, good morning everybody. My name is Christina Kelly and I'm with Train 321. We are a new partner of MRA. We're really excited to launch the online learning management system for the Massachusetts Restaurant Association. And on that platform, we make available basic trainings for back of house and front of house. And then we can do any type of custom trainings for your restaurant, onboarding, whatever you need to help you train and retain your employees.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samantha.
Cut out, you're doing great.
I am a vocational educator in Massachusetts. I'm also a product of vocational education in Massachusetts. I graduated from the Culinary Arts program, high school program, the one that I actually teach for. And I've been in education for the last 13 years, training the next generation of hospitality workers.
And those are some great kids that you're
They
training.
are some great kids, I have to say. We are the smallest vocational school in the state of Massachusetts, and we have some dynamite kids.
Probably one of you may be small, but you are mighty. That is for sure. And let me tell you, right now over at that school, it is a team of all female chefs.
Yeah.
So it is one, excuse my French, kick-ass, powerhouse female staff over there. And they're great. And I'm biased, guys. I'm biased. So let's dive right in. And ladies, let's start with our first question here. So why should a company spend time or money on educational opportunities for their staff? And I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll go first.
All right.
So spending time and money educating your staff is really important, not only to the operation of your establishment, for retention of your employees. I know how hard it is for us to retain employees in this industry. It's hard to find really good people. So when you invest in your employees and you're giving them those basic trainings, not only the technical trainings on the how to do things, but also those soft skills on upselling or how to deal with a difficult customer or how to greet a guest, those are so important for not only your business, but also it makes those employees feel part of, right? They want to know that you're investing in them, so they invest in you. So I think that's why it's really important to train your employees, to retain them, and to show them that you value them.
Did you look at me when you said difficult customer?
I might have. I was
think,
just, you know.
I think that happened.
It was just, it was a look that you gave me. I felt scared.
The teacher look.
Yeah. No, because we were discussing how, you know.
Just wanted
okay,
to be
just
clear.
wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna scoot over.
So I think that you have a choice, and we all recognize that at least of our product is our service, and our service is our people. So if you're not investing there, you're buying subpar. Half of your selling, what you're selling, is not up to par. And you can spend your money continuously recruiting, and in the meantime you're losing customers and you're losing reputation and you're doing all of that. So I get that it's a really hard number to make concrete on your P&L, but if you're not investing in your staff and you're not bringing them up to your culture, you only have a half a product. And I'm looking at the three of us here. All of our programs are well subsidized by the Restaurant Association for all of you owners. And if you're not taking advantage of them, then you're really leaving a lot on the table.
Going last is intimidating. But I think definitely retaining your employees is what's going to be a result of investment. Also, the quality of your staff improves when you invest in training. Also, you need to understand the type of worker that is currently coming up in the next generation. It's no longer the worker that works to live and have a retirement. It's a person that is working to live now. So as long as you provide them with some drive and give them a purpose and quality of work, they're going to continue showing up and doing well and wanting to do well. But if you are not going to give them that at their workplace, they're going to go find another place that will. And that's going to happen more frequently, I believe, in the next 10 years because they are not working to save for retirement. They're working to live now. And part of that is like they love their jobs, and they're not necessarily the generation that we need to stop using the generation that doesn't want to work, because they actually do want to work, but they know what their quality of work should be because they're only investing their time for work to be able to do other things.
And you kind of hit on what was going to be my follow-up question. They want to feel invested in, and I mean, Sam and I do spend a lot of time with this next generation, and from what I think we see together, they're loyal if you invest. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to retain that kid from if they're 16 years old and they're your dishwasher, and you invest in their education. And I'm not saying you need to give them money towards college or anything like that. Invest in their education within your organization and providing opportunities of growth for them. They're going to come back to you every year of college. Then when they graduate, they're going to come back to you, or they're going to come to you for their internship through college because you provided that opportunity for them, and they're going to feel invested in you. I just want to point out we have another fantastic ProStart educator hanging out in the audience. You didn't think I saw you over there, but we got Everett High School over there. So, and she can attest to this too. This is what that next generation is looking for. We can't be recruiting and treating this next generation the same way we treat the group that's in there now. So thank you for
You're welcome.
picking on that, because it's totally going to be my follow-up question. So, all right, and so and educational opportunities, they go beyond something like Train 321. Train 321 is a great program. I do, again, stress that you go check it out at the MRE booth. They're our partners, so they're hanging out over there. But there are other types of educational opportunities you can provide, such as mentorship. So how does building a strong mentorship program support your current staff and then support your business as well? Anybody want to jump in? I know, Pat, you're big on mentorship here. So you want to take that one?
Yes. Samantha gave you the profile of the young generation coming up, and you've already heard that if you invest in them, you really have getting more bang for your buck. And when you mentor someone, you learn as well, and they learn your culture. They learn to do it from you. And we're in the people business, so the people you're hiring are well motivated by interpersonal interactions with you. If you just leave them on their own, they will create whatever it is they want to create, but they really are motivated by working with and for you as another person. And so I think if you can figure out how to do that on the job without a whole lot of extra anything more than your enthusiasm and a little bit of structure, you'll be in good shape. And so again, if you build all three of these together, by the time you get to an apprenticeship program, you'll have support in really identifying how you can best mentor them to get the outcomes that you want.
So another mentorship opportunity that I've seen have a huge impact on students is in the state of Massachusetts is the cooperative education that is involved at the high school level, and students can, instead of coming to school, can go to work, and they work the hours that they would have been at school, and this gets them in the door earlier. It gets you into your business earlier, building skill sets and quality skill sets, and transitioning from school life to work life much faster at a higher quality rate. So that is a huge mentorship lane that is done a lot in our for our industry. We have a lot more cooperative educations this year in years past. I think restaurants have now realized that this is like where they should start into getting quality. Get them early. Teach them their culture and the way that they run their business, and then they stay, and then they become loyal. And having them have that opportunity makes them more loyal, where they don't get the reputation of that they don't want to work.
And for me, just from a business aspect, thinking back on people who have mentored me, where would I be without those people, right? So I think we all have somebody in mind, one person or two persons at least, that have mentored you in your career or in your life, who have meant a lot to you. How great is it for you now to be that person for the people coming up, right? So you could be that person that, Tommy or Sally, remember, oh wow, Kathleen was an amazing mentor and she helped me become the person who I am today. So I think that's really important, just in all aspects of life.
I have an additional story that I think that this industry could learn from. My brother also is a product of vocational education, and he started working for co-op at 17, and he is now 36, and he still works for the company that he works for. So it's 20 years in, and it's been transitioning. He went to several different jobs, positions up the ladder to Northeast sales, and I think that's what this industry needs. They need more of that to get longevity out of people.
Absolutely. So those of you sitting in the audience today, if you would like to be connected with a school, come find me afterwards. You can take my email address. We have 40 schools in the state of Massachusetts that the Restaurant Association is connected with. They are both comprehensive and vocational high schools, but they do all have some form of culinary or hospitality program. Just making that plug. I'm going to make a lot of plugs today. So that's just...
I love the plugs.
Right?
Keep it going, Jen.
I'm going to keep up
absolutely.
this, and then, beyond mentorship, right? We've talked about mentorship. So what are some other trainings that, organizations should invest in? This is opportunity to everybody to plug all of their training. So what other types of we've talked about the co-op, we've talked about mentorship, but what else should our restaurateurs be investing in?
I always have something to say, so you may not get this back. I forgot the question. No, I'm with it.
Give me that back.
Feisty. Would you repeat the question?
All right. What other things that we haven't mentioned at this point? What other educational opportunities are out there that restaurateurs could be investing in to invest in their staff?
Okay, I got it. So I think again, we have apprenticeships, so we start and we pick up people who are learning on the job. And then we do have a certificate program in culinary arts, and we have an associate degree. And I think with that helps if you can encourage your staff to do that. They bring new ideas back to you. It's our job to really kind of keep state of the art. Our students were here looking around for the same reason you're here, to see what the next new thing might be. And if you can develop and grow them in a supervisory or an entrepreneurial way, you can be on the leading edge of whatever's going on. So I think that there's concrete product management, but there's also those soft skills, as we referred to before, and that frees you up, and you might even get a day off every week if you do it well. So I would really look at all the opportunities, and again, I can't speak highly enough of this particular restaurant association. I'm not from Massachusetts, which is why I don't talk like everybody else around here, and they are just so hands-on, and they provide so much for you. So take her card.
I have a digital card, sorry.
So for us, from Train 321, shameless plug, we start with the very basic skills, like I said in the beginning. So we're teaching your people what is a line cook? What is a expediter? What's a server? What's a bartender? So these are very level.
You're doing good. It might cut out in and out.
All right. Hello?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Can you hear me now?
Just keep going.
I'm just kidding.
Just keep going.
So these are very entry levels, and then you always also have the compliance courses. But it's going to Pat's point, is investing in some type of leadership trainings, right? So wherever you find those, whether there's something that you're sending to a program, a college, or the Serve Success, or a mentorship program, it's really investing in those people to do those leadership type of trainings, because like Samantha said, when her brother started out, he started at the beginning, and now look where he is. So you develop that person through the ranks, you don't just start with the basics and stop there. You continue it as they continue on.
Other trainings that I definitely agree, the soft skills, how to manage difficult customers, I think is a huge thing, as we've seen in the last...
We have that.
Yes.
You beat me to that.
Yes. Is a huge thing that this industry has seen inflate in the last few years. So dealing with social media, how to respond, management. We're actually at an all-time low, I believe, in the management positions right now. There's a lot of openings, and there's not a lot of people going into them. So the leadership, again, anything that can retain people. If you invest in them, they'll invest in you. And creating stakeholders is what I think the bottom line is.
And I think Pat had said this during her answer. Once you invest in these employees and you do these mentorships, they're going to come back to you with knowledge. And then all of a sudden they're going to be able to provide you with knowledge that you may not have access to. And all of a sudden they're going to be able to help you improve your restaurant. Then they're going to feel invested in your restaurant because they helped you improve their restaurant. And do we see where we're going with this? Do we see the cycle of if you invest in them, they'll invest in you, and then all of a sudden you've created this relationship? I know I'm literally speaking out of the German lamb playbook right here. So you invest in them, they invest in you, and all of a sudden you've got this culture and you've got this employee that cares, right? Because that's a lot of what you guys worry about with this next generation, that they don't care, right? They don't want to work, they don't care. That is 100% not true. They just want to feel valued. That's the biggest thing. They want to feel valued. Awesome. So did someone else have something to say before that? Okay. All right. So we provide all these educational opportunities, and that is great. And we've spent the money, we've invested in them. But what do we do after we provide these educational opportunities? How do we continue to invest in our employees? What else can we offer them besides education? I know that's a scary question for our educators, but what else can we do, to help keep, retain these employees?
I think it's just the continuous follow-up, just leading by example. So once they're trained, they know what they're doing, but just when you lead by example, you can't just tell somebody to wash your hands properly. If they don't see you washing your hands properly, they're not going to wash your hands properly. So, that's a very basic example, but, as managers or owners, I think it's all about leading by example. So it's not just training, but you have to walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk.
I think that you've already established a culture of caring and of mentorship. You've already got a place that people want to work, and so now you can start to have some fun, and people learn when they're having fun, and I think that you can really give them that sense of belonging, the next level up, and listen to their ideas. Let them see a career path if that's what they're looking for. One of the advantages of our industry is that we're so flexible. People can come to us part-time or full-time. They can work only weekends. They can work only lunches. And if you can continue to meet what your staff is looking for, and they have the basic skills, you can really create a happy place to be, and maybe we can begin to soften up our customers a little bit, and when they walk in that door, they'll feel like they can exhale, and it's very cyclical. So I think it all goes together, and I don't think it's separate. I think it's integrated, and I think that, again, a lot of the programs we're talking about here can happen on the job. We're not asking you to put a whole lot out there, but this is your product, so you really have to think long and hard about how you're going to develop that product.
I think what Pat said is great about having fun, because that's where, bottom line, people coming to work, they want to have an enjoyable time, even though it is work. I think in the next generation, the word mandatory gets a little scary, and they kind of push back. So they have the mandatory trainings at the beginning, but if you offer some type of incentive where now it's back on them to go and continue finding some professional development or finding anything that will intrigue them that could make the whole business better, that is another way to get them to continue on and see that they also have a say in the business. And whether it's an entry level or management level, offering some type of incentive that if you can continue to educate yourself and learn new things, and you can bring them back to the company, then that provides some of the fun aspect too. It gives them a little bit of freedom to figure out other trainings or other professional development or education that they can learn.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback on that really quickly, because both of them mentioned fun and I did not mention fun. But I love fun, right? So I was speaking with Samantha from our office earlier. How did I get into this industry? Well, I was a server at a restaurant, at the age of 18, and I loved it. It's my favorite job because it was fun. The people I worked with were fun. My customers were fun, most of them.
That was a different time.
It's a different time. You're right. How do you know? I'm only 19.
We're the same age.
I look good, right?
Absolutely.
But it was fun. So this can be and should be a very fun industry. It's not a restaurant. It's where people come to eat and be happy, and now put it all over social media. So I think those were great points about also making it fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're gonna open it up to see if there, and of course, center stage is blasting their music. Come on, man.
I feel like we need some music, Jen.
I'll just start singing.
I love it.
That's what happens when you give me a microphone. We're going to open it up to the audience to see if there's any questions that the audience has about anything that we've talked about or anything that we didn't cover that you thought we should cover. Does anyone have any questions? Just raise your hand. I'll come to you with the microphone, because there's no way we will hear you over this music. Oh, come on, guys. This is not school. Okay, stop. You can make eye contact with us. You can ask us questions. We are not scary. Anybody?
A little bit scary.
Anybody? All right. Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to make up more questions, because I left time for you guys to ask questions, but nobody wants to ask questions. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give this one a little bit towards Sam, just again because you spend more time with this next generation. So can you help us understand a little bit more about this next generation? We did talk a little bit about what inspires them and what does their retention, but what can they do to recruit them and get them in the door, right? So how do you attract that 17, 18-year-old into the door to just start the process?
You don't treat them like they're 17 or 18. You have to treat them almost like more of a young adult. They are smarter than what you actually think. They already know what their rights are, what their work rights are, they have expectations of what their employer should be, and if they're not getting that, they will leave and go find somebody. So it's right off the bat, first impressions. Communication, they cannot stand if you are not communicative, or if you're giving them a runaround about scheduling, or if you tell them this about their hours and then they don't get those hours. They know, they're highly intelligent about what, if they're gonna if they're gonna work, they want it to work the way that they expect they should be treated. So that is one thing that I feel like a lot of this industry is now finally seeing, and they're going to get on board in the next few years, that they can't just expect a teenage kid to do whatever. They have lives and they have schedules. So educating them right off the bat on what your expectations are about calling in or vacation, or if they need time off because of school stuff or anything like that, they be right up front. Again, it's a two-way communication. Their communication is on a phone, not necessarily, so that's some of the soft skills that we're trying to work on, and knowing and asking and speaking up, because they still have that intimidated factor of an adult student type mentality, where they are actually adults and they should be able to communicate what they need and what they want, and you should too. So communication.
That's good. I mean, and Pat, you also work with this upcoming generation at college. Do you have anything to add to that?
Sure.
Go for it.
They're really not different from the previous generations, and they say things that I think a lot of us wish we had said when we were younger. It's not a us and them, and they truly are more aware of themselves and of what's important to them, but I don't think it's all that different. And I think if we can stop with the us and them and find the common ways forward, I think that's what it's going to take. And they've got the technology, they communicate with it. Maybe you can use that, maybe you can't, but they are interested still. They're human beings and they're interested in human skills. So if you make the time to talk to them, and maybe that means that now you have a pre-shift meeting that you didn't have before. Maybe it means that you've got to squeeze those extra 5 or 10 minutes in, and I know that's really hard, but if you think about how you're going to manage your staff and keep them going, you may find a way to do it as part of your regular repertoire.
My word, Carrie Miller. We're gonna have words later. We're gonna have words. Do you have something else to say?
They're also afraid of disappointment. So they tend to be timid because they don't want to disappoint. So again, it goes back to communication, to making sure everyone's all on the same page, because then they have this high expectations for themselves that they don't want to disappoint.
Awesome. I'm trying to think of questions because you guys don't have questions, so you're making my job harder. I have to think of questions. So Christina, let's talk a little bit about your program. And so I've obviously spent a lot of time in their program. They are one of our partners. Can you give us a little bit more details about your program? Because I think what people think about when they think online education training, where you're thinking hours and hours. They're thinking ServeSafe, which is like an 8-hour video, and they're like, oh my god, I have to sit in front of my computer for 8 hours. This sucks. Okay? Sorry, Renee.
Renee's like, I didn't create it.
But it is an 8-hour class. Nobody wants to sit in front of their computer for 8 hours. Can you tell us, a little bit more about your program and how it's, 5-7-minute videos that are a lot more accessible?
Right. So on our platform, all of our trainings, we have 2 different tracks. So there's a back of house and a front of house track. That's everything.
There's also an alcohol.
There is also an alcohol package that you can. No happy hour. That's up to you, Pat. What
You
time?
can test what you
Where
make,
we gonna
right?
go?
We're going
Okay.
to test what we're learning to make, right there.
If you need a happy hour, Samantha Lakaya will be your contact. No, but so for our platform, what we've done is all of our trainings are micro learning. So they're 5 to 10 minutes. So they're really quick, short videos on, the basic skills or the basic entry-level things for the restaurant. So the way we have it set up is if, let's say, they're in a back-of-house program, they get the folder assigned, the curriculum assigned to them. The first course they're going to take is Back-of-House 101. That's the only thing they're going to see on their dashboard. It's a whole learning management platform. It's very easy for them to navigate. So they're going to click on their Back-of-House 101. They're going to watch about a 5 to 10 minute video. They're going to take a quick little quiz at the end. And then once they're finished with that, they'll be assigned the next course. So we don't inundate them with 20 or 40 courses all at once and scare them away, because like Jen is saying, if I personally see something that's a 30-minute or an hour-long video, I'm like, I'm not interested, I don't have time for this. So we try to keep them quick so that people stay engaged and don't overwhelm them with the training. So they can do it on their smartphone, they can do it on a tablet, they can do it on the computer. And the great thing for the company admin or the manager, you can manage everything from your platform. So you can see what your employees are doing. You can see how long they spent on that back-of-house course, or how long they were on the platform. What did they click on? Did they finish that course? What was their passing score of the course? So as the manager, you get to see all of that information. So if Samantha comes to me and says, hey, I was on the platform for 3 hours taking the training, and you as the HR person say, oh, I got to pay Samantha for 3 hours. Well, you can go to the activity reports, because there's so many reports available on the platform. You go to the activity report and say, well, Samantha, I see that you were on knife safety for 1 minute and 3 seconds. So you did not take that course, not really. Okay, and then I see you were only on the workplace diversity for 2 minutes. So you get to, as a manager, actually see what your employees are doing. So you can actually follow up with them and say, hey, why don't you just watch this video again? They're available to you, they're accessible, there's no limit. You can just have somebody take the course over and over. It's not a we want you to pass or fail type of situation. No, we want you to actually learn. So it's always available to them.
And it's a great program for some of our smaller restaurants, right? So, those big corporate restaurants that, have, a zillion locations, they've got their training program. They've built their training program, right? They've got to train from the starting position all the way through to their managers. You as a small restaurateur or one location, you don't have that kind of ability to do that. And that's why we at the association partnered with the program like Train 321, because, they're offering that type of training that these big corporations have to you, the small restaurateur, the one location restaurateur, the 2 location restaurateur, for a very reasonable price. Members get discounts. So I told you, I'm a plugger. I'm going to keep plugging it. So it's really is it's a great program. And like she mentioned, there's also a customization option to it. So like, what are some customizations that you see? Like, are they asking you to create different content, like how to manage your social media or things like that? So what are some of the extras that you see requested?
So some of our extras that are requested are, can I upload my own course? So let's say you've created a course, or you teach people every single day how to properly roll silverware, and you can just take a video of it, send it to us, and we can create a course for you. So now you can just assign that course to all of your employees. It's very simple, upload, customizable. If you have a course that you need created and you need some help with content writing, we can help with that as well. If it's a bigger establishment and you want to talk to us about an API connection with your HR payroll system so that the people are integrated between the 2 programs, we can talk about that as well. So it's our own built, custom-built LMS, so there's really nothing we can't do with the program. It's just a matter of talking with us and let's figure out what your specific needs are. We also have an onboarding section of the platform, so let's say you have a new meal and break policy that you want to push out to all of your employees. So we just upload that as an onboarding. As soon as they sign into the platform, a little pop-up appears. They have to read it, they have to sign it, acknowledge they received it, and then they can move on to their training. And then the managers have access to those electronic signatures. So there's so much that's available with this platform. If you have any questions or want us to show you specifically, you know, see myself or Samantha, we can really help you get set up. And like Jen said, as a member of MRA, you get serious discounts for the program.
If you have questions about membership, you can see the lady in the blue jacket right over there. Okay, all right, you go for it.
I would like to make a plug.
Go for it. I was about to ask you to plug. I was going to ask you a question with the plug, but
No,
you just go for it.
I'm ahead of you again, Jen.
You always think ahead of me, Pat. Go for it.
So there are, right now the Commonwealth is investing in apprenticeship programs, and I'm in the center part of the state. I'm at Quinsigamond in the Worcester area, but all of the community colleges are participating in mentorship or apprenticeship programs, and there are a couple of ways for you to do that. The Restaurant Association sponsors some apprenticeship programs, and you can take a current employee, someone that you really want to get developed, and sign on for that program with the Restaurant Association.
And I'm going to stress that is at no cost to you.
What did you say, Jen? I didn't hear you.
That is at no cost
Free?
to you.
Which is fabulous, and it's supported by the state. Those of you that might want to do something on your own, you can approach your community college and see about becoming an apprenticeship location. In other words, we might have a program where we do a pre-apprenticeship and we get our people trained, our students trained, and you might be the location where we send them for the on-the-job training. It's like a test drive of a Tesla. I mean, you know, you get to get the best and really see whether or not this is a long-term relationship for you or a shorter-term relationship for you.
And that was literally the question I was going to ask you. Why
Tesla?
should they reach out and contact and partner with a community college or a school program? You stole my question.
Because we have the best.
Well, you are.
We're the showroom.
You are.
We've got the product.
Sam, is there anything you want to add to
down
that?
off this chair. I told you that.
The only thing I would add is your vocational program or comprehensive high schools that have Chapter 74 culinary arts programs for cooperative education. Look into it. There's a lot of companies that create a position and they fill the position each year with a different person, or juniors and seniors are eligible for it, so then they constantly have a person in that position as the schedule rotates throughout the month and the student schedule rotates. At my school, we're in a 10-day, 2-week period, so we have a person that might be in the position for 2 weeks, and then when they go back to their academic classes, a junior replaces them. And it happens in a lot of our vocational programs that they have a position and then the body or the person changes, but it's the continuous partnership with the school yearly. So it's a constant flow of employment.
And I do want to stress this about this because this is that's not free labor.
No, it is not free labor.
Don't take advantage of those kids. If you're going to work into a program like that, which we absolutely encourage you to do so, don't abuse it. Because then you're creating that problem that we're trying to solve right now with this session, right? You are not investing in them. You are not showing them that they're valued. You're just using them as a body to fill a seat. So don't do that. Don't do that. But do work with the vocational schools and do work with these programs.
Do it right.
And
do
really,
it right.
really show these kids that this is a fantastic industry, and we want you in the. And we want. This really doesn't like me right now. It apparently doesn't want to hear me say it. But really show that you invest in these, not even students. We're talking anybody. You know, a lot of the students that are coming through Pat's program, they're adults. They're adult learners. So when I say student, I'm not talking about the 16-year-old. I'm talking about the 35-year-old that decides that they want to go and change careers and they're going to go to that community college. So just don't take advantage. Invest. All right, I have like 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions? Did they decide anyone to ask us any questions? Okay, last thoughts about our session, anything, what you want them to take away from our session. I'm just going to give you this.
All I can do is I was sitting here and I was listening and I was thinking about how well Disney does this in terms of co-ops. But they come back trained. People recognize it. I think that we have an industry of hands-on learners. I think that we have an exciting crop of young people coming up the ranks that don't really know this industry, and it's up to us to really show them. Those of us that started in it have stayed. Look around. You know, you stayed with it for some reason, and we need to be able to share that with students and really figure out how to invest in them by getting them developed as restaurateurs.
Sorry, I just want to put on record that the word Disney did not come out of my mouth. If you can't tell, I like Disney.
Sue, I think my biggest takeaway from this, what I have learned, because it's always a session of learning, right? So we always have something to learn, is that you can also learn from your people. You're getting them trained. They're going out to experience other avenues of education, and they come back to you with these great ideas. I believe that Pat said it, and so did Samantha. How great is it that you get to learn from their experiences as well? And I think that that's a really great takeaway, because I know that I learn from people like Samantha. I mean, when Instagram came out, I hate to, show my age, but I don't know how to use it. I had to learn from people, but that's a very important aspect of marketing, right? So it's always learning. You can also be open to learning as well as training your people.
I believe that the industry is in a rebranding era right now.
100%.
100%. There's no quick fixes, as Jenna said. There's only long term, and this industry has always been filled with wonderful people and businesses and standout stars, but there needs to be more of them, and everyone needs to get up on the same page and it's about building your culture in your whole entire establishment and in the industry, and investing in your employees so that they invest back into you and you can retain them for longer, from the beginning positions to all the way to the management positions.
Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you so much. They'll be hanging out here for a few minutes to answer any questions that you did not want to say into the microphone. We will be right here. And we thank you so much for joining us today for our session.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody.